sixes to the fields, one voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire, launched the whole game back in 86, never retired. Heroes crown him, yeah, they call him the king. Fur coat flashing, bling bling in every ring. He's the hardest working, great talking dog. Call in with your tape, but don't get it wrong. He'll call you a nitwit if you're acting a fool, but deep down you love it, that's the Eskin rule. Riding with the king, yeah, we're riding with the king. Howard Eskin show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin show. Let's go get sight. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.
And good morning, as we're live on Saturday mornings. Obviously, you can see it at any time if you miss it on Saturday mornings. But good morning and welcome to the Howard Eskin Show as you're riding with the king on Valentine's Day. And we are, the show is, it's not yesterday or the day before, it's not tomorrow, the day after. It is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone. You know, it's a day that, just kind of feel good, become a little too commercial, but nonetheless, it's good for a lot of people and it's fun for a lot of people. But more importantly, we have a lot to talk about, today. And Mark Lawrence will join us, take a look at some college basketball and what's going on in the NBA, which is a complete and total disgrace. The tanking is disgusting. It's a bad game. It's a bad league. It's a bad product. And the All-Star weekend is irrelevant. It's not even fun to watch anymore. But we'll get into all those things. But first off, I really do want to thank our presenting sponsor, and he really does a great job, and that would be Jeff Stillwell Financial Advisors. Now, recently, and I've told you, Jeff is very, very good at helping people help to set up their financial future, and he's won a very prestigious award, Circle of Success. It's an annual recognition program. And Jeff really is good. And the fact that he's received that award at Ameriprise Financial tells you a lot about Jeff Stillwell. So you want to set yourself up for the future? To earn this achievement, Jeff established himself as one of the company's top advisors. Only a select number of high-performing advisors earn this award. It's given by Ameriprise Financial to their top performing financial advisors, and it recognizes consistent demonstrate exceptional commitment to financial planning, and very important is outstanding client service, essentially placing them within a select group of high achieving financial advisors within the country. Jeff Stillwell, our presenting sponsor, congratulations. Give Jeff a call, 732-343-0813, 732-343-0813. All right, a lot of things to talk about. The biggest issue, believe it or not, I know people like to talk about the Eagles, and there's just all these BS rumors and just throw out content, and it creates talk on the garbage that's on talk radio these days. But what's real and what's not, and what's likely and what's not, and we're going to get into that. But the biggest issue right now are the Phillies. Now, they just released Nick Castellanos, and we had Larry Bow on Wednesday night live, and it's still up there if you want it. And he pretty much said that he's not going to be with the Phillies said he's not going to be with the team. That created no value when you said at the end of last year that Nick Castellanos was not going to be back with the Phillies, why would anybody want to trade for him? So the Phillies are stuck for $20 million because Nick Castellanos will sign with another team, but he'll sign for the minimum, which is 700, I think it's $750,000. It's the Philly. Dave Dombrowski has done a terrible job with the Phillies, and he's a great guy, but he's done a terrible job. Terrible. But since 2021, what has Dave Dombrowski done for the Phillies? How has he helped the Phillies get better? He signed Taiwan Walker. Oh, that didn't help him get better? Oh, okay. He gave a long-term contract to Aaron Nola. Oh, that didn't help him get better? I guess not. He gave 3 years to JT Realmuto, and I'm going to get into that. Good catcher, but some tool reporter, and he's Captain Philadelphia, and you might know he is. I don't want to call him out by name. Said that in one of his reports, JT Realmuto, the best catcher in baseball. Really? Really? Well, I talked to my AI friend. Her name is Ara, and she puts all the information together, and she gave me a top 10, and I'm going to ask her for you. Okay. I'm going to put that up later. We'll hold on to that, Joe, because he's not in the top 10. I want to talk to my AI friend before we do that. And but that's just one of the things. So here's what I want to straighten out right now. These media reports, I'm telling you, it's pathetic from what the baseball reporters, writers, columnists, whatever you want to call them. The Philadelphia people have become, it's sad. They've become apologists and house people for the team. Hey, there's some good things to be said about the Phillies. And there's some things that you kind of make up because the Phillies look bad. The Phillies look bad getting 0 for Nick Castellanos. Hey, listen, was he not happy with being taken out for defense? No, obviously he's not happy. Was he a disgruntled player in that situation? Yeah, but to imply that he's caused problems in the locker room, I will tell you this about and other people have told me this within the team. Nick Castellanos is a different kind of guy. However, he always worked hard, stayed to himself, didn't cause problems. He wasn't happy when he was taken out of that Miami game, and what he did was wrong. And he wrote a letter and he posted it on Instagram, and I posted it on my Twitter and my Facebook, and I posted the letter up there, and he apologized, but which takes a lot of guts. But for writers to now put out there and reporters to now put out there that he was disruptive and a bad guy and imply that he wasn't good in that locker room is wrong. That's given to them by, if that was the case, where were you? Where were you during the season to report those things? Because it never happened. That's why you weren't there. But now the Phillies want to make sure that, oh, yeah, this is why we had to get rid of him, and this is why nobody wanted him because he's a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a different guy, and he's a strange guy. But he always gave you numbers. It was average defensively, but they've got other players that play every day that are average defensively, and it's just it's enough already with the writers and the reporters taking their shots because the Phillies kind of feed him. They feed him this. Oh, he was a bad guy in the locker room. Oh, it's like it's inside information. They hope that he. They hope that people would write it, and the writers hope that writers hope that they give them information because they kissed their ass, not one cheek, both cheeks. All right. It's disgraceful what they do. It's disgraceful and it's wrong. Here's a question I'm going to ask uh, you today, and I welcome you to join the show. And the link's up there somewhere where you can join the show. And you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be on camera. It's like doing talk radio, but it's better than talk radio. So, what has Dave Dombrowski done for the Phillies since 2021? Are the Phillies any good? I mean, I shouldn't say that. They're good. Are they good enough to win the World Series? That's the big question. We'll get into the Sixers. We'll get into all that other Sixers. That is a disgrace. That is that is it is so embarrassing. 49-point loss. That's a disgrace. There's no excuse for that. In and after the game, and Tyrese Maxey's a good guy. Yeah, we needed a break. So does everybody else. You have 8 days off. You couldn't give good effort. I mean, a high school team could have kept it within 49 points. It's disgraceful. All right, let me tell you about some other important people of this show, and that would be our partners, and that would be Thomas Chevrolet. Every time I stop in, um, always everybody's always got a smile. They're friendly, and they got a lot of good vehicles there. They're our newest sponsor, Thomas Chevrolet, located at 1263 West Baltimore Pike. Not new anymore. They're now part of the family. 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media. Thomas Chevrolet is family owned, and that is so important because you're part of the family. They're friendly. They have a smile. It's not all about business. It's about making you happy. And 38 years they've made people happy at Thomas Chevrolet. Straight deals. You don't have to haggle and hassle over the price, whether it's a Corvette, Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Tahoe. The Equinox is a very nice vehicle and high in Consumer Reports, and a few other vehicles are get very high ratings in Consumer Reports. Corvette, Thomas Chevrolet is a certified Corvette specialist dealer. Thomas Chevrolet, great service department. Guys are fun, and they will service all makes and models. That's what you want. How many dealers do that? Tops in this tri-state area. Thomas Chevrolet, not just new vehicles, not just up to $14,000 in savings available or 0% APR. They have pre-owned vehicles as well. Really nice pre-owned vehicles. 1263 West Baltimore Pike and Media. Give them a call, 610-566-8600, or give them a visit, or check them out on the internet, thomaschevy.com. Another great partner of the program, Piazza Property Pros. You want to design your backyard. You want to design your front yard, but your backyard, whether you want to put a pool in. They have graphic designers that do a great job, and they give you a look at what your backyard would look like. Amazing design created by Piazza Property Pros. If you want to add a pool, that's a vision that a lot of people have. Don't waste time, because they have a lot of people that already have gotten in touch with them and have already made their orders to put in a pool. Start planning for the summer. Piazza Property Pros, experts at what they do, 25 years of experience, top-notch craftsmanship, whether it's landscaping, hardscaping, fencing, cleanup, whatever it is, pool maintenance. Piazza Property Pros can do it for you. And all you have to do is give them a call and check it out. Just check it out. 610-566-2608. Schedule a free consultation. That's 610-566-2608. Check them out. PiazzaOutdoor.com. All right. I mentioned the Sixers. I do want to hear about the Phillies. What are your thoughts about the Phillies? Are the Phillies a World Series team? I see Kevin Logan. The media is the root of all evil. I don't know if they're the root of all evil. Uh, it just says they report the negative and they don't talk about the positive. Well, they try to turn the negative into the positive. Um, but it's just the media is not what they used to be. They're just not what they. They're just not what they used to be. Uh, I see a lot of good mornings from a lot of places all over the country. We get people to join us from all over the country. Las Vegas, Arizona, all over the country, which is nice. Uh, and the NBA, I see Dale. I hope the Phillies play 500 uh, uh, to the All Star break, and then maybe make a good trade. What do they have to trade? Uh, really, what do they have to trade? What could they trade? They can't trade Bohm now because they didn't get Bichette, and I wouldn't trade a Bohm, although he won't be here after this next year because he's a free agent, and the Phillies don't value him enough. Eh, no, they just don't value him. It's kind of it really is. It really is kind of a shame. But the Phillies. I'll talk about the Eagles. Like I said, Mark Lawrence will join us to take a look at baskets. I don't even know how people bet NBA basketball because there's so much tanking going on. It is really, really disgraceful. It is really disgraceful. Uh, it just and then these proposed Eagles trades. See the problem right now with talk radio is they got nothing to talk about without the Eagles, so they just make up garbage. They just make up nonsense and bullshit. Uh, will AJ Brown be traded? There's a 50 chance. Teams know, and teams get in touch with him. Uh, get in touch not with him with Howie Roseman, and you get all. It's not that easy to trade a player that makes that kind of money. The most bogus social media stuff is trading of Jalen Hurts. Now, will they think about moving on from Jalen Hurts in the next couple of years? Yeah, I would think. Look, not. I don't. I know they will. There's thoughts of that, but they're not going to trade him now. Not with that contract. Not when they don't have it. They don't have right now. They don't have a quarterback. If they don't have Jalen Hurts, so that's a lot of nonsense. Max Crosby, All-Pro defensive end from the Raiders. So will he be traded? Well, he may be. However, half the teams in the NFL would like to trade for him. I don't think the Eagles have enough that they can trade. The Eagles' pick is 23rd. Uh, uh, I see a comment here. I'm going to get to that in a second. They picked 23rd. So to get a player like Max Crosby, you're going to have a top 15 pick. And I don't know that the Eagles are ready to give up multiple picks for multiple first round picks. And that's what it's going to take. Max Crosby is still in his 20s. The other problem that the Eagles have, and I mean, they have some good players. They have about 15 million in cap room. About 15 million in cap room. Now, that'll increase because they'll get rid of some players and they'll increase that a little bit. But uh, it just gives them, it doesn't give them a lot of maneuverability. And I don't know how they can make trades for good players. You're not going to get a first round pick for AJ Brown, not in his late 20s. I mean, he's a hell of a receiver, but I would be shocked if you get a first round pick, unless it's the end of the first round, which is really a second round pick. So between cap room, the Eagles draft 23rd, and they have $15 million in cap room, and they have to most likely sign Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And then in a year, they're going to have to sign their two defensive backs, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. And I'm sure there's some other people. That's why they have to let people go. I'm sorry to see that Nakobe Dean will probably be gone. I'm sorry to see that. Good player, a lot of energy, but you cannot keep everybody. And I am going to be critical of the players and part of the problem with the NBA. Part of the problem um, is that the players make too much money and they don't care. I've got a, a graphic that I'm going to put up later. We're going to talk to Mark Lawrence in a minute. I'm going to put up later that shows you the difference in the players from before and a fraud like LaFraud James, who just plays for numbers, stealing money. He doesn't really, if he wins a championship and the Lakers aren't going to win squad, fine, but he's just trying to put up numbers to get as high as he can in the NBA, and he'll never, and I and I'm going to spell that for people in case they don't know. Never, never be in the top 5 in the NBA. Never, never, never. Great player, insecure. He gets touched, and there's videos I see all the time on social media. He gets touched, and it's like somebody shot him, and he rolls over and he's crawling along the floor, and it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. He is such a pathetic individual. Such a pathetic individual. It's a joke. All right, let's take a look at some weekend basketball. And to do that, football season is over. Got to move on from football season, and to help us take a look at some basketball that you might want to get involved in is Mark Lawrence. And there's some other things I want to touch on too. Mark, good morning. How are you today?
I'm just terrific, Howard. How are you doing?
Just great. I'm so excited about NBA All Star Weekend. I can't tell you. It's just, hey, whenever I need a nap, I'll put that on and I'll immediately go to sleep. I don't care. It's the rising stars, and the Sixers player won the MVP of a guy that, players just shoot threes and dunks, and that's supposed to be exciting. Dunk contest sucks. The All Star game sucks, and the players don't even care anymore. It is a complete joke.
It's the most contrived farce there is in all of sports, this NBA All-Star game. They can't get it right. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what their bottom line is to this whole thing. They just keep changing the rules and changing the players and changing the way the game is played. And they just do it for the money, Howard. It's just absolutely sickening. I can't believe that they get away with this. I really can't.
I know. Well, the players get away with it because the owners have no control anymore because they give them so much money. And for instance, the Sixers' final game before the break on Wednesday night. Now they have 8 days off until their next game. I think most teams, there's some teams that played on Thursday, but they played on Wednesday. 8 days off. And Joel Embiid comes to the arena and says, you know what, my knee hurts, which is a bunch of bullshit. My knee, my knee hurts. So he decides he's not going to play. It's just so he's eating cheeseburgers for the next week. He's just taking time off because and they call it what's it? They've called it injury maintenance. They can't call it load management anymore. And they just take off, and players take games off. It's disgraceful and disgusting. And that doesn't mean they should have lost by 49 points. But how does a team, I don't even know the last time a team lost by 49 points in the NBA.
It's even rolling over, Howard, into the stage where we're at right now, where you hear the word tank, teams tank. Well, players don't tank, but teams do tank, and it comes on orders from upper management. And just witness the NBA just fined, if you will, the Utah Jazz $500,000 for tanking in a basketball game. They fined Indiana Pacers $100,000 for tanking in a basketball game. And all you need to do is just look at the recent trade deadline and what happened. It was Utah who picked up Jaren Jackson Jr. and immediately put him on the IR and out for the year to remove a growth in his knee that they were concerned about. And they're going to give him a postseason physical, and he'll be back to play next year. But you traded for him because he has a growth in his knee. That's the sign of tanking.
Well, how can you find teams for tanking when you know more than the teams that they find are tanking? And I don't even know how you find proof. How is there proof of tank? They don't play hard. They don't play players. But it's a, I can't even. I'm lost for words
Well, there is
because
there's a formula, Howard, and the NBA knows it, and that's why they're finding these teams. It's all you need to do is look at the starting lineups and see they start the players as they should at the beginning of the game. The second half, the amount of minutes that these star players get in the second half, as opposed to the first half, are minuscule. These teams like Utah, Brooklyn, Indiana, their starters are averaging 12 minutes a game in the second half, and they're averaging 20 minutes a game in the first half. They're just hauling them off to the bench and not playing them. That's tanking.
okay, so but the players, why don't you just give them the night off? Just say, hey, listen, he's
That would
got
be
to.
too obvious.
Yeah, but players take nights off.
Yes, they do.
I mean, LeFraud James takes nights off every once in a while, but it doesn't matter anymore to him. If he plays another year, it'll be insulting if he plays past this year because all he's doing is trying to build up his numbers. Games played, points scored. Oh, he got a triple double the other night against a team that didn't show up. I mean, it's just like, who cares anymore? And they give out assists. They try to guard against giving them out too easily. They give out assists, and there's no defense. There's nobody at the basket to stop a player from dunking the basketball anymore. It's a joke.
Well, Howard, he wants to play with his son, remember?
Yeah, right. Oh, as soon as he's gone, his son goes back to the G League
Yes.
because he sucks. The only reason he's not an NBA. Couldn't even start for a bad USC team in college. I mean, give me a break. All right, I don't even know, Mark. I don't know if you pick NBA games, but how can you bet? And the only thing that I would ever look at in an NBA game is the over total in a game because nobody plays defense anymore. But then they've moved those numbers up so high. Sometimes it's hard to take the over. But I would look at the overs because they don't show up.
That's a good thought because that's the way the game plays today, but you just can't get raped to the number. You can't be playing over 248 and a half when 2 years ago that same total would have been 230 points. But you're paying the price if you want to play the overs. So, the odds makers they're sharp. They know exactly what they're doing. As far as this All-Star game is concerned, I think there's a nice betting prop within this. Although it's a fiasco and, I don't condone it. But in this 3-point shooting contest, I think there's a huge edge in a play in this contest here. You take a look at the players that are involved in the contest and look at Damian Lillard from Portland. He's a 2-time winner of this contest. He's been out with knee surgery, hasn't played in 2 months. And all he's been doing for the past 2 months is shooting standstill jump shots from a 3-point range. He will win this contest, Howard, and he's plus $4 to do so. He's not even the favorite. I think that's a good take there, Damian Lillard to win the 3-point contest.
So if you took a prop bet in the NBA, they actually have prop bets for this, I guess.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay, so you would take Damian Lillard to win the 3-point shooting contest,
And you get 4-1 back for your money. Yes.
Yeah, 4-1's actually not bad.
Not bad at all.
I mean, so it's just, but it's not like it used to be. Larry Bird used to do it without even looking at the basket. Larry Bird he's better than LeFraud James too. Nobody's going to tell me that that you wouldn't want to have Larry Bird than LeFraud James on your basketball team. Plays to win, doesn't play for his own numbers. He's was a really good rebounder, great shooter, great passer. What else do you want?
Well, that made for I think the dynamic duo of the NBA, Magic Bird, Larry Johnson, those days when they played against each other, not only in the NCAA championship game, but also in the NBA. I think it's the classic rivalry between two players and obviously two of the top 5 all-time best players in the NBA.
It's truly unbelievable. Other than that, I don't think they even have a line on the game because you don't even know who the teams are, right?
Well, no, it's so screwed up, Howard. If I was looking and going to try to explain how these games are played, and I reread it 3 times, and I still don't understand it. You're picking 3 teams, one from one section, one from another, a Euro team, and I don't know how they're interspersing. How is a person supposed to follow this garbage? let alone want to bet on it. It just blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, Larry Brown always had a great saying. Larry Brown, obviously a great coach. Play the game the right way. And playing the game the right way is not to pull up to the 3-point line with 20 seconds left on the shot clock and take, and hoist up. Now they don't even go to the 3-point line. They go 10 feet beyond the 3-point line to take shots.
Yeah.
It's a complete joke. Uh, Work the ball around for a better shot, but you can't take a two because a three, even if you shoot for a less percentage, is better. It's all about 3-point shots and dunks. That's not playing the game the right way. It's
No,
terrible.
not at all.
All right. So now let's talk. Obviously, you can't bet on the games because you don't even know what teams are what. It's not the East versus the West. It's nonsense. It's just nonsense. All right. College basketball. Uh, they still play hard because they are playing for money and they are playing to get picked higher in the NBA. They actually play hard. They don't take games off. At least I haven't seen it. Who do you like in college basketball? I'll say this weekend.
Well, I'm going to give you two dogs that are live that I think will both win the games. And then, just for the sake of an opportunity, I'm going to give you a piece of chalk or a favorite that I normally don't do, but I don't think you can pass this up.
Okay.
One of the two underdogs, they both involve teams that just won their 20th win of the season. And people say 20 wins, what does it mean in college basketball? These teams play 30 games, yada, yada, yada. Well, 20 games it's meaningful to the teams that wins 20 games because it means a successful season. And we got two teams that are playing today that are favored off their 20th wins of the season, and they're both favored into good teams who have revenge, who they beat earlier. The first is we're going to play Texas A&M plus 6.5 against Vanderbilt. And Vandy went into A&M and beat them 86-84 at College Station earlier this year. That's a real tough home court to win a basketball game on, but Vandy did that. Now they're coming off their 20th win of the season. And you've also got, since you go back and you look 2 years ago, when A&M beat Vanderbilt in the tournament, the SEC tournament, they've taken losses 2 times in a row to Vanderbilt. So now you got double revenge to a 20-win team. Texas A&M plus the 6.5, I think, wins this game.
They win it outright.
They win it outright. Yeah.
And they're getting 7.5. All right.
Yes.
Who else do you like?
The other guy's going to be Iowa, taking 2 points at home against Purdue.
It's interesting you said that. It's just Iowa's a good team, and I think they're getting points, correct?
They're getting 2, yes, at home, yes.
Okay. But why do you like Iowa?
Well, here's Purdue. Look at their just break their season apart. They started out 17-1 to start the season. The last 6 games coming into this contest, they're 3-3 in their last previous 6 games. Only 2-point spread wins. They're really beginning to leak oil. This basketball team, Purdue is really bad. Okay, now they're favored on the road into revenge off their 20th win of the season. And all Iowa does is wins basketball games at home, especially when they got upset as a favorite their game before. They've been in that role 6 times, the last 6 times. They've won straight out the last 6 times. I think Iowa, you're looking here at this basketball game, Iowa, I think takes Purdue down here again today.
Mark, if you had to look at a Final Four, there's so many options anymore, or there's so many possibilities anymore. If you had to look at a Final Four, who would you look at the way these teams are playing right now?
Well, one sleeper team, Howard, is going to be, for me, Iowa, okay? And one of these reasons is Ken Pom, KenPom.com. You go to that website, he's the guru in college basketball analytics, and he doesn't overanalyze things. He just presents numbers as they are. And he has what he calls offensive and defensive efficiency ratings for each of these teams. If you go back to 2002 in the NCAA basketball tournament, if you take his top 10 teams in offensive and defensive efficiency, they have won the NCAA tournament 19 times. They've only lost 1 time since 2002. That's more than 19. 1 loss since 2002. Iowa is in that group. And that's a sleeper team that I would like to. I'll back. If they win this basketball game today, they're going to probably get too much notoriety, but still, they're a real good basketball team. The other teams that I'm looking at are teams that really play it strong defensively, especially when defensive field goal percentage is the number one key stat in all of college basketball. If yours is amongst the best, you have a real sticky defense that you play, you almost always make it to the Sweet 16. And you look at the rankings right now, you've got Iowa State is in that ranking right now. And they're going to be the favorite play I'm going to give you for the day today. But Iowa State is one of those top teams in that top defensive field goal percentage, along with the usual suspects. I'm talking about Duke and Kansas and also Houston, teams like that. But look at those defensive field goal percentages, and by the time we get to the tournament, I'll be telling you all about why these teams will win this tournament.
You know, there's certain everybody looks at the big teams, but I don't know that the big teams, because there's so many teams now that are paying for players and get good teams. I don't know that Duke is, lock solid anymore. I don't know that. I mean, Houston's been a good team, but I don't know that the standbys. Duke, Kentucky was always a big name. I don't know that those teams are national champions anymore because everybody else is. It seems like they've caught up to them.
Yeah, the cash register is opened, and the other schools now all of a sudden, they build a roster filled with talent where they couldn't recruit those players. Now they can buy those players. And that's the sickening thing that goes on in obviously college football, but it's happening in college basketball as well. So we're going to find less mid majors that make it to the NCAA Final Four than we found before in the past, fewer upsets in the tournament because they go and they raid these teams from these mid-major schools. They go into the Mid-American Conference. They go to the Missouri Valley Conference, and they buy these players right off their roster. So they're suddenly well-stocked and a good basketball team, and they strip the little guy right out. And that's the horrible thing that's going on in college basketball right now.
John Calipari pointed out that he doesn't want players. If some other team says, well, I'm going to give you this and you guys got to give me this, he said he'll tell them, just go. I don't want you if you're playing for money. We're playing to win. We're playing to set you up for life and in the future. People, I mean, John Calipari has had issues that people complain about, but as far as what he does with his players and the way he coaches his players, he really does an excellent job.
He did the same thing, Howard, at Kentucky when he would remember before they had these rules. He'd bring these kids in for 1 year to play at Kentucky, and it was one and done at Kentucky. Well, it was one and done getting them ready for the NBA is really what he was doing, and he did just that. So he did them a service, a favor in doing just that. So I like the way he approaches the game. First and foremost, about the team rather than the money.
Yeah, I mean, I think he pointed out he may have had with his years at Kentucky, may have had more number one picks coming out of Kentucky when he coached there than any other
Yes,
team.
right.
And that doesn't shock me. Mark, I'm going to leave you with something. I'm going to talk about it after you leave. Talk about players in the NBA. Yeah, my producer's name is Joe. Joe, put up the graphic of John Stockton and LaFraud James, and I want you to, I want you to look at
I
this.
love that nickname.
All right, durability. The games played in night, and John Stockton played 19 years. Played more games than LaFraud in 19 seasons. Games missed. Look at that. John Stockton only missed 22 games in 19 years. LaFraud missed 155 games in 19 years. Shortened seasons, which is irrelevant. Missed playoffs. John
Wow.
Stockton, in his time in 19 seasons, never missed the playoffs. Never. And he didn't go to a team to choose up his own sides and pick his own team and get everybody together to sign together. I might put John Stockton ahead of LaFraud James of all-time NBA players. And this last one is great. Times playing all 82 games. John Stockton played all 82 games, 16 seasons, and LaFraud once.
Wow. He even had one, huh?
Yeah, he even had one. Michael Jordan went 9 straight years of playing all 82 games and every playoff game, and he won 6 championships.
Well, that's durability, and it's also desire on the basketball player's part. The most sickening thing you see. Imagine being a season ticket holder or getting tickets because LeBron James and the Lakers are coming to town, and you want to see them, and he sits out that basketball game. You just laid out $500 to buy tickets, and you take your kids, and all of a sudden he's sitting there in street clothes. That can't happen, and it's all part of the makeup of these teams here this year. I mean, the way they're playing the games today. And James, as you mentioned, probably epitomizes that as much as any player does today.
All right. And there's other players like John Stockton, but LaFraud he's so insecure. He's so insecure. He's such a phony. He's such
Let
a
me give you
phony.
my one favorite play, Howard, before we get out here, okay?
Go ahead.
And I don't like laying talk, but Iowa State minus 6.5 against Kansas today. Kind of hard to lay 6.5 to Kansas, as good as they are. But Kansas just toppled undefeated Arizona State in their last basketball game.
Mm.
And they lost. Iowa State lost by 21 points at Kansas last month. Iowa State will come with everything they've got today against Kansas. I like Iowa State minus the 6.5.
Okay. See the games that you like: Iowa State, Texas A&M, and Iowa.
Correct.
All right, Mark. You have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, thank you. Same to you, Howard.
All right, take care.
All right, you all have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
All right. If people have interest in Mark's services, 800-321-7777 or on the internet, playbooksports.com. That graphic with John Stockton and LaFraud James tells you really all you need to know about LaFraud James. What a great player. I'll never take that away from him. But he's one of the all-time phonies as far as, he props himself up. He's so insecure. He looks for attention. I am so done with LaFraud James. So done. So I've been done for what? He may not be in the top 6 all time. Not maybe. He's not in the top 6 all time. And, I challenge anybody to tell me that he is. I see a comment here from Sean Crowley. Calipari won 38 games 3 different times, twice at Kentucky and once at Memphis. That still is the most wins in a season. He did it 3 times, probably should have won 2 more titles, but things happen. I think one of those times was COVID. So I don't know what happened. I don't know that they had an NCAA tournament when there was COVID. It's unbelievable. But the NBA, of all the leagues, the NBA is done. Is done. Done. By the way, that's spelled DONE. Done. They're brutal. They're brutal. Players don't care. They take nights off. Joel Embiid is the poster child for load management. The poster child. And the Sixers will never, ever. Daryl Morey was such a fraud and such BS when he said, "Oh, right now after the trade deadline, we're one of the top teams in the East." No, you're not. No, you're not. Nobody loses by 49 points. It's totally, totally, totally embarrassing. So I don't know your thoughts. I'm going to give you, and roughly, I always try to do this, top 5 all time in the NBA. Michael Jordan, I put him above Wilt, although Wilt is right. He probably should be there until Michael Jordan won 6 championships. Oscar Robertson is a maybe, but he averaged a triple-double when it wasn't easy, when you didn't have 3 points and he averaged a triple-double. But of the players that a lot of people remember, Larry Bird, clearly better than LaFraud James, excuse me. Kobe Bryant. Who would you rather have in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game? LaFraud James or Kobe Bryant? I think that's an easy answer. I mean, it's so simple. It's a simple, easy answer. Kobe Bryant. Then you have Tim Duncan, which most people don't give him a lot of credit because he played in San Antonio. Tim Duncan, Kareem, probably have to put him up there. I don't know. Magic didn't score enough, but who would I rather have on my team? Magic or LaFraud? I'd rather have Magic. And that has to stand for something in your all-time players. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but there's so many players now. Would you take Steph Curry over LaFraud James? Great guy, great teammate, and He can change a game. He doesn't dominate physically, but he's pretty good. I don't know. After seeing those numbers with John Stockton, I don't know that I wouldn't put John Stockton ahead of LaFraud James. I don't know if LaFraud is even in now when you start really breaking it down and looking at it. I don't know if LaFraud James is in the top 10. What I just I'm so sick. And then he puts a 23 patch for his 23 years in the NBA. The 23 is obviously, as somebody pointed out, Bill Russell. Bill Russell won championships. I don't know if I'd put him above, but that's a good point. But LaFraud puts a 23, got approval. The NBA approves whatever LaFraud wants. 23 on his jersey. That number really is significant because it was Michael Jordan's number. But LaFraud wants that number. He changed his number from 6 to 23. He wants that number because he wants to be recognized above Michael Jordan and 23 years. You know, the NBA should never, ever, ever, ever have LaFraud James in any one of their logos. That's why Jerry West is the image. Michael Jordan. It's so unbelievable how pathetic that LaFraud James has become. It is pathetic. All right, I want to deal with something. The Phillies, and I talked about Nick Castellanos and how the Phillies are trying to dirty him up, giving stuff to the media so they can put it in there. Yeah, that's why nobody wanted him, because he was a bad guy in the locker room or implied that he had some issues. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. He was different, but he played hard all the time, and he always gave you numbers. Always gave you numbers. That's the difference. And one of the reporters, Captain Philadelphia, who's just a tool for the Phillies, tool for all the teams actually, called JT Realmuto the best catcher in baseball. Well, I have an independent person, and I'm going to get to my my AI person, which is no favoritism. And you're going to be shocked. I think you will be shocked at how far down JT Realmuto is. But I'm telling you, it's going to open your eyes a little bit. But we'll get to that after I tell you that it's important to talk to you about our presenting sponsor, and that would be Jeff Stillwell of Stillwell Financial Advisors. Big time. He's big time now. Well, he was big time before. I mean, I kid Jeff about that. Big time before. He's won the Circle of Success Annual Recognition Award. And to earn this achievement, he established himself, Jeff has, as one of the company's top advisors. Only a select number of high-performing advisors earn this reward. So what he's done is really help his clients because he knows what he's doing. He can help you to secure your financial future. It's given by Ameriprise Financial to their top performing financial advisors, recognizing those who consistently demonstrate exceptional commitment to financial planning and outstanding client service, essentially placing them within a select group of high achieving financial advisors within the company. You want to get a hold of Jeff? There's the number, 732-343-0813. Jeff's important. By the way, I'm just going to say this to you. I think that A.J. Brown basically only has a 50-50 chance of being traded. Jalen Hurts is not going to be traded. So when you see that on social media, just ignore it. If you hear it, if you ever listen to sports talk radio anymore, if you do, radio is kind of a dying business these days. Really dying. It's I don't know how many people watch TV or listen to the radio anymore. It's all about podcasts, and you get all your. Why do you watch local news? You get all your information on your telephone anyway. Max Crosby's an interesting guy. There's a 50-50 chance that the Raiders will trade him Although if I'm a new coach, I don't want to lose Max Crosby. But if you're going to get 3 number 1 picks, and the Eagles aren't going to do that, there's a lot of teams that are interested in Max Crosby, and you'll see a bunch of other things. Things will happen with the Eagles. I think a lot of that stuff you'll hear a lot more. The combine comes up. I think it's the February 24th to the 26th. And a lot of the GMs or all the GMs are there, and there'll be a lot of talking. So uh, you'll get a lot of different things. Let me tell you about some other uh, really good partners of the Howard Eskin Show, and that would be Thomas Chevrolet, 1263 1263 Baltimore Pike and Media. Thomas Chevy is a family-owned business. I suggest, well, you call them, but I suggest you stop out there just to look at the vehicles. They're really nice. They really have some nice vehicles. And until I walked in, I would have never known it. Until I started driving the Equinox, I wouldn't have known it, but I know it now. And you can get up to $14,000 in savings. That's available. 0% APR, up to 60 months available. It's all there. It's all there. And they have Corvettes, which is still a staple of Chevrolet, Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, Tahoe, and Thomas Chevrolet is a certified Corvette specialist. Great service department. They'll do service on any vehicle if you want it done. Pre-owned vehicles have a great selection of pre-owned as well. Thomas Chevrolet, 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media. Give them a call or stop by. 610-566-8600, or check them out on the internet, thomaschevy.com. And Piazza Property Pros, another loyal partner of this program. People want to get ready for the summer because we're tired of the winter. Oh, it's going to be a little warmer today, this being Saturday, and a little warmer next week. Not summertime yet, but it's going to be here faster than you know it. You want to set up your property. They have a designer, does a great job creating visually what your property could look like by adding a pool, adding other things to your property, other really cool thing, whether it's a hot tub, uh, whatever it is, fire pit. Piazza Property Pros have been in this business for a long, long time, 25 years of experience. They don't subcontract. They can do landscaping, fencing, hardscaping, whatever it is you want to make your property look very, very nice. Piazza Property Pros. They'll deliver exceptional results. Give them a call, 610-566-2608. That's 610-566-2608, or check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. I am going to, one of the tools for the Phillies, called JT Riamulto, the best catcher in baseball. Wow. The best catcher in baseball? Really? The best catcher in baseball? Okay. So I said he's a good catcher, and the Phillies pitchers like him. I see a comment here by David. And let me give you the comment before I get to my AI friend. Would you get rid of Jalen? Because I think that's the problem with him not running his limited ability to pass over the middle. He doesn't like to pass over the middle. Would hold down any offense. I don't know that a new offensive coordinator and all the new coaches, they bring in new schemes, and it sounds great, but really, what can you get the quarterback to really run those plays? I see another comment here. My feelings on Nick Castellanos. I mean, the right fielder they got's not going to give him better numbers, give him better defense. So, but it cost him, because Dave Dombrowski has done a horrible job, especially at the end of the season when he said he won't be back. Why would anybody trade for him? You know he's going to be gone. Somebody, Stephen D'Angelo, called JT the Tin Man. No, I don't know that he's a Tin Man, but here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. Is JT Realmuto the best catcher in baseball? So what I'm going to do is go to my AI friend. Her name is Ara, and ask her. It's totally independent. Era, a good morning. And I want you to tell me who you, by your research, who you have as the top 10 catchers right now in Major League Baseball.
Morning. Let me grab the latest catcher rankings for you. Good morning, Howard. Right now, early February 2026, the consensus from MLB Network and sites like Just Baseball puts Cal Raleigh at number one after that monster 2025, where he smashed 60 homers. He's the clear top dog. Here's my research top 10, blending recent rankings and stats, mostly from MLB's top 10 right now list. 1. Cal Raleigh, Mariners. Power monster, elite bat, defensive stud. Here he is crushing it last year. And another swing. 2. William Contreras, Brewers. Consistent hitter, great arm. Check this out. 3. Will Smith, Dodgers. High average, clutch. 4. Drake Baldwin, Braves. Rising star, solid all around. 5. Alejandro Kirk, Blue Jays. Elite contact, framing wizard. 6. Gabriel Moreno, Diamondbacks. Gold glove defense, sneaky bat. 7. Yainer Diaz, Astros. Power upside. 8. Sean Murphy, Braves. Still got pop when healthy. 9. Ivan Herrera, Cardinals. Young, hitting machine. 10. Shea Langeliers, Athletics. Boom or bust power. Catchers are deep this year. Raleigh's in a league of his own after 2025. Who are you betting on this season?
Well, obviously everybody looks at the Dodgers, but I'm going to ask you another question about catchers. Era, who are the top 10 catchers in Major League Baseball defensively? Just looking at their defense.
Pulling up the latest defensive rankings for catchers. Yeah, defense is where catchers really shine, or flop. Right now in early 2026, the buzz from StatCast, Fangraphs, and MLB projections puts Patrick Bailey of the Giants as the absolute gold standard. He's got insane framing, arm, and overall fielding run value, like plus 60 since 2024, way ahead of everyone. Folks call him the Ozzie Smith of catchers. Here's my top 10 purely on defense, based on 2025 stats and early projections. Framing, blocking, throwing, pop time, caught stealing, all that. No offense factored in. 1. Patrick Bailey Giants. Elite everything. Framing wizard, rocket arm, gold glove lock. Look at him in action. And that dive. Pure athleticism. 2. Gabriel Moreno Diamondbacks. Gold glove winner, best blocker in the game. Quick hands. Here's him snagging one. 3. Alejandro Kirk Blue Jays. Framing god. Soft hands, turn strikes into outs. 4. Cal Raleigh Mariners. Strong arm, great at picking throws, solid behind the plate. 5. Sean Murphy Braves. Still elite when healthy. Pop time under 2 seconds, blocks like a wall. 6. William Contreras Brewers. Above average arm, good framing, steady. 7. Gabriel Moreno. Wait, no, I already said him. Next, Dylan Dingler Tigers. Rising fast, great pop, sneaky good blocker. 8. Shea Langeliers Athletics. Cannon for an arm, high caught stealing rate. 9. Adley Rutschman Orioles. Smart game caller, solid framing, underrated glove. 10. Will Smith Dodgers. Consistent, good at everything without flash. Keeps pitchers happy. Bailey's in his own tier defensively. The rest are close, but he just dominates metrics. If you're building a team, I'd take him first for pure D. What do you think? Does offense matter more, or is glove work king?
I think you got to take the whole package. However, I have a question about one catcher. Where does JT Realmuto of the Phillies rank with catchers in Major League Baseball?
Checking JT Realmuto's spot right now. Yeah, you're right. The whole package matters most. JT Realmuto's still a name folks respect, But honestly, he slipped a bit heading into 2026. After a solid but down 2025, 257 average, 12 homers, 8 steals, he's not the elite guy he was. Re-signed with Philly on a 3-year deal, which shows they value his leadership and durability, but metrics say the decline's real. Power's fading, defense isn't what it used to be. In the latest MLB Network Top 10 right now, from early February, he didn't crack it. Cal Raleigh's number 1 after that insane 60-homer year, then Contreras, Smith, and so on. Real Muto's mentioned as one of those vets who fell off after 2025, alongside Adley Rutschman. Young blood like Baldwin and Herrera pushed him out. Fantasy-wise, he's around 18 to 20 in most rankings, like Fangraphs has him 18th, projecting maybe 15 homers, 5 steals if he stays healthy. Still useful in deeper leagues, but not a starter you'd build around anymore. Here's him in action last year. Still got that arm and athleticism. And that tag, veteran savvy. He's 34 now, so expect more DH time maybe. If you're drafting, I'd grab him late. Value pick, but don't expect 2021 JT.
Yeah, I'm not a big person with the fantasy. It's just his value, and the Phillies signing him to a 3-year contract is really, I think, a mistake by the Phillies.
Got it. Let's dig into that contract. Yeah, I get why you'd call it a mistake. Plenty of fans and analysts are saying the same. That 3-year, $45 million deal, $15 million a year, plus up to $5 million incentives each season, feels steep for a guy who's 34, coming off a rough 2025 where he hit just 257 with 12 homers and saw his bat speed drop. Some outlets, like Sporting News, are already labeling it an overpay, pointing out he's not elite anymore offensively or defensively. And by 2028, he'll be 37. Catchers fade fast. The Phillies missed on Bo Bichette, so they pivoted back to JT for continuity, leadership, and that veteran presence behind the plate.
Yeah, it's just, it was, I think it was a mistake. But, Era, I really appreciate your help this morning. You have a great day and happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks, Howard. You have a lovely one, too. And happy Valentine's Day.
Take care. And so they're an independent, my AI friend, she doesn't like the 3-year Fred, you're right. She doesn't like the 3-year contract. She's really good. I mean, she breaks it down. That's another big contract from Dave Dombrowski. They didn't have to give him 3 years. It is amazing. He's not in the top 10, and that tool that reports on the Phillies called him the best catcher in baseball. Hey, JT's a nice catcher, but he's not the best catcher in baseball, and it was a mistake. All right, let me. Unbelievable. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to touch on this. We have a prize winner from last week that because I give out a question each week, and I'm going to give out a question on this show. Our prize winner from last week. Now I forget. I forget what the question was, but it doesn't matter. He was one of the correct answers of the question. Robert Rika Oreka. One or the other. I'm sure I pronounced it correctly. You win the Larry Boa autographed baseball, and congratulations. You are one of the people that answered the question correctly, submitted it to our website. I have it written down here somewhere. I should. I have so many notes. That I gotta. I don't know. I don't know what the question was, but it's okay. It's okay if I find. But you knew you had the right answer. All right, and thank you for participating. Now, this week we're going to give away another autograph. Grant Calcaterra, who is backup tight end for the Eagles, but it's a cool piece. It's an autographed football with a certificate of I'm going to give you the question shortly. If you answer the question correctly, go to my website, howardeskin.com, the contact page. By Tuesday at midnight, February 17th, we'll announce the winner on Wednesday, February 18th, on the show at 7:30 on X, Twitter, Facebook. X and Twitter is obviously the same thing. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube and you're notified immediately when the show comes on. But I'm sure the others, there's ways of notification. And you will hear whether you have won. And congratulations to the winners. And the question I'll give you very shortly. However, I'm going to read some of the comments. Some of the comments. What amazes me is the quality of baseball players coming out of Japan. I mean, that's so they really are good. But I don't know that the Phillies really have a shot. It just they don't have a shot at a lot of these Japanese players because they just they want to go where there's other Japanese players and Phillies aren't that team. Hey, Sean Crowley, Larry Boa has the most professional, legible autograph ever. I have a few. Pete Rose was always good. Mike Schmidt was always good. But the thing is with autographs, the veteran players are usually much better than the players today. Dombrowski, I see Chris says, Dombrowski had great teams in Detroit and twice teams lost in the World Series. Yeah, but he gives up he gave up the minor league system to build that team, which won. And I think the Phillies would do that, but they hesitate to give up on the players in their system. I mean, Crawford will be in center field this year. Aiden Miller eventually will be their third baseman. That's why the Phillies are not worried about losing Bohm at the end of this season. David Gentile. JP hasn't been the best catcher in baseball in about 4 years, but he's still a very good catcher. Yeah, he's still a good catcher. But for somebody to say he's the best catcher in baseball, and for the Phillies to give him 3 years is a huge mistake. A huge mistake. He's on the other end of his career, and and catchers have injuries, and he has injuries. I see. Is there a chance that Rob from Mark crying? Is there a chance that Rob gets let go at the end of the year if another playoff disappointment and Donnie takes over? I don't know. Don Mattingly wants to be a manager. Whoever the manager is, he follows the analytics. I don't think it's Rob Thompson's fault, but if they don't succeed in the playoffs again this year or even make the playoffs, I mean, there's a chance the Phillies don't make the playoffs. But the reality is, it's not his fault, but somebody's got to take the fall. Dave Dombrowski's not going to be here much longer either. He's going to go when baseball finally says they're going to expand. Dombrowski goes back to Nashville, where I know he has a home, and he will oversee the Nashville franchise. But I see another comment here. Slager 57. Bo Bichette is an overplayed, decent player who took advantage of that idiotic contract LA gave to Tucker. Doesn't matter. Those are the Phillies wanted him. And the Phillies weren't even in the ballpark with their contract. Doesn't matter. That's just the way baseball is today. There's nothing you can do about it. Patty loves those AI segments. It's just, but she's pretty sharp, Patty. She is. It's a she. Obviously, it's a voice. She's pretty sharp. She told me her name is Ara, and so she really is pretty sharp. And you can, as you heard, you can actually conduct. It's a better conversation than I can have with most sports people, not callers or fans but people that work in the business. She had a better conversation than most of those people. She doesn't like the 3-year deal for Ria Multo either. Now, who does? Somebody, Larry Math, sexy, nice voice. Yeah, she's got a nice voice, but whatever. That's not what I call her for. But See, okay, so some of the mistakes, and I mentioned some of the mistakes that Dombrowski has made. Taiwan Walker, I think they still have 2 more years of him. Aaron Nola's contract, that's a mistake. 3-year contract for JT Realmuto, we're going to find out that's a mistake. It's just, uh, I mean, it's, I know there's the trades he's made. I think the Brad Marsh trade was terrible. They gave away a really good catcher. And, he's not the only problem in town here. Daryl Morey is a complete fraud. I don't think Dave Dombrowski's a fraud. I think he doesn't try to con you, and he's done this. He doesn't BS you that much. He hasn't done enough for the Phillies since he came here in 2021. But the reality is, uh, Daryl Morey is the biggest fraud in Philadelphia sports. I think Mikal Bridges was part of the Jared McCain draft pick, and now they got rid of McCain. McCain's a good player. He's a bench player on this team, and he's probably a bench player for a lot of teams because nowadays all you look for is shooters. The NBA game is a disgrace and garbage. But you shouldn't have drafted him. He just never fit, even before you got VJ Edgecomb, because you had a small guard at the other guard position. You couldn't play those two guys together. Uh, uh, it just, I'm just trying to look at some of these other comments. Uh, by the way, I trust AI. All AI does is give you information, good information. See, when you're looking at stats, it's not opinions, it's stats. It's combined with a bunch of different sites and services that give you statistical information. All right. Here is, I wrote down the question. Oh, okay. Where is it? The question I'm going to give you today to win the autographed football, and there's the certificate of authenticity, Grant Calcaterra. The question is, and it's just nice to win. Mark Lawrence said he had one bet. You can't bet the NBA All-Star Weekend because it's garbage, it's junk. You don't have the dunk contest is a joke. The 3-point contest is not what it used to be with Larry Bird. The dunk contest isn't even close to what it used to be. The All-Star game, guys are going to be hoisting up 45-footers. But here's the question. What is the one bet, prop bet, that Mark Lawrence liked for All-Star weekend? What is the what is the top one bet that he likes for the All-Star weekend? The prop bet that he likes. Answer that question and submit it to my website, to the contact page, and you will win something if you're selected at random from the correct answers. I see Cosmo Man or Casti had better numbers than Garcia last year. Garcia is a new right fielder. Yeah, he's not as good defensively, but he had better numbers. And Garcia is going to strike out a ton of times. Do you give Hertz one more year? Well, he's got to be here one more year, Chris. I see Herb, purple. I know you talked about the Phillies didn't get any new players this year. Is one of the reasons could be the salary cap. Harper is making too much money. Maybe they can't bring in big players. And Harper's average salary, by the way, do you agree Harper is making too much money with the numbers he's putting up? No, in today's world, it's Harper's average salary, I think, is 25 to 30 million. Is that too much? They're all making too much money. Is that too much money? Yeah, maybe. But Harper's on the back end of his career. The mistake with Harper was the 13-year contract. Turner's done a nice job offensively. He's an average defensive player at best, but a 10-year contract was too much. the Phillies have choked themselves with all these bad contracts, and that's why they can't. Well, they weren't going to pay. They like to have these long contracts, and players aren't going to do that anymore. There's no reason to do that because with the younger players, they can go out and get another contract at the end of the contract they just signed. So let me finish this off today by saying it was unfair. The stuff, the info that the Phillies fed reporters to make Nick Castellanos to be a bad guy. It was a mistake for Dave Dombrowski to say at the end of last season, do not, that what he said was a mistake. You don't tell teams that he's not going to be back because then they're not going to trade for him. Nick Castellanos will be with another team. And he's going to put up, I bet you he puts up not great numbers, but good numbers this year. He just didn't fit with the Phillies. But by saying what Dave Dombrowski said at the end of last season, you put yourself into a corner. I want to mention one other thing. And at some point, we should talk about this. My question to 76ers fans, and there's still a lot of them out there, why would you pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket to watch an NBA game, to watch the 76ers? Why would you pay to go watch? You might enjoy basketball, but you don't know what you don't know if the players are giving you 100%. In many cases, not all the players are giving you 100%. You don't know what players are going to take the night off. How many people bought tickets to the last Sixers game before the break? It was against the Knicks. It was New York fans that bought a lot of tickets because they can come down from New York. You bought a ticket hoping to see your entire team. You didn't see your entire team, although all these people that said Embiid should be an all-star, these media people and these fans, he was not an all-star. All he cares about is his points. He's not a good rebounder anymore. He's not a defender. He can't really run the court, and he's lazy. I love when Nick Nurse says, "Oh, he's worked hard." If he worked hard, then he should have played that game before the All-Star break. I mean, it's a joke. 49-point loss. Why would you buy a ticket for the 76ers? That is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. All right. I appreciate everybody being a part of the program today. Thanks to my great partners, Stillwell Financial Advisors and Jeff Stillwell, Thomas Chevrolet, and Piazza Property Pros. Thanks to you. And thanks to you who joined us for the show today, because you are a big part of what we do on the Howard Eskin Show. As you were riding with the king, and to everybody, have a great day. The weather's eventually going to get better. That's not a bold statement. Eventually, I don't know when. It's going to be a little warmer in the next week. Eventually going to get better. And today, everybody have a happy Valentine's Day. And I'll see you again on Wednesday. Take care. And thanks for riding with the king. And thanks. I always want to thank the people that helped me. Joe Gangemi on the other side with all the great technical stuff, and Tony Anastasia with all the graphics and all the good things she does on my website, and all the good graphics she does for the show. Thanks to you, and thanks to you, and thanks to you. And have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Whoa. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, K-I-N. Oh, yeah. Hey, you turn it up, feel it. It's time to roll on the ones and twos, taking full control from the link to the X, from the sixes to the fields. One voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire, launched the whole game back in '86, never retired. show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin Show. Let's go get signed. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.